5, we're going to start with roll call. Brian Balcom.
Here.
Jen Bluestein. Alden Clark.
Here.
Charlie Palmisano. Jamie Penny.
Here.
Rick Tanker.
Here.
Jack McCarr. Here. Matt Hespron.
Here.
I'm here.
Jack is on the.
Charlie.
And I am here.
Charlie.
I'm here. Hi, everybody.
We're the only one missing.
I'm here.
Okay, we have a public hearing tonight related to 10 Woodland Way, Country Club Estates.
I'm here now.
Let me
guys.
explain just quickly how things are structured for all of you who have come tonight for the hearing. We'll initially have a presentation from the applicant, representative of the applicant. I will then ask the planning board if they have any initial questions regarding the presentation. And then we will open up the floor to public comment. So any of you who and if you could try to limit your comments to about 2 minutes, if possible. We will then close the public hearing, public comment, and we will take the discussion back to the board again, and we'll see where we end up in terms of a decision. So with that, I will open it up for a presentation from the applicant.
Thank you.
Please give us your name and.
Sure. For the record, my name is Robert Melvin with Stamsky and Canary. I'll be representing the applicant for 10 to 18 Woodland Way. Here we are here to present a site plan application to repave the existing parking lot as well as expand it. The reason we're required site plan approval is due to the expansion of the parking lot. As the expansion includes over 10 parking spaces. We're actually proposing 68 additional spaces. The lot currently has approximated 181 spaces. I say approximated because the existing parking stripes are faded and it was difficult to tell. So what we did was we used some aerial imagery to sort of approximate the spaces, particularly in the top left corner of the screen there. And so as I said, they're going to be repaving the entire parking lot. The pavement is right now is in very disrepaired state and is very much needed repaving. So the expansion that we're proposing is going to occur on the north of the site. That's where the additional 68 parking spaces are going to be. We provided some numbering on the plan to identify the count of spaces. They do not align with the existing conditions because we are actually sort of removing a few spaces on the right-hand side of the screen. And the spaces are not assigned either. The numbering is just for the purpose of counting spaces. And what we've done is we've proposed a stormwater management system for the site, the impacts of the additional pavement here. Currently on the site, there are a few catch basins located at the 2 existing curb cuts in the front. Those catch basins lead to the street and are handled by the drainage in Woodman Way. So our plan for the proposed drainage is to send the water in the added impervious area to a subsurface chamber system, which is very similar to a drywall system. They are open chambers that will be underground, surrounded by stone. And any overflow that may occur from that during larger event storms will be directed to the existing system in the street. But we've calculated the drainage to have no increase in runoff over existing conditions. We have provided spot grades on some of the existing parking spots, particularly for the handicap parking, to ensure that everything's ADA compliant here. And we're proposing a few landscaped islands in between as well, provided for the new parking area. They'll be planted with likely low shrubbery plantings. And then we're also providing tree plantings on the outside of the parking lot there, noted by the circles, symbols there. We're also providing an updated dumpster pad location, which will feature an enclosure. And that pretty much concludes our proposal. I'll be happy to take any questions. From anybody?
It's the board, if you have initial questions.
So, are you adding additional handicap parking, or are those new, or are those existing?
No, all the handicap parking is existing. We're not adding.
And the area where you're removing the pool altogether, but only part of that is taken up by new parking, is that correct?
That's right.
And then the remainder area, is that going to be just a lawn area?
Yes, the remainder of that will be maintained as lawn. I apologize, I did fail to mention that there. Sort of in the center between all of the existing buildings on the site, there is an existing pool that we're proposing to remove and replace with some additional pavement. But we are going to be leaving a portion of that as a grassed area. And as shown on the screen, if you could please just move to the right side of the screen, so you can see the pool here. That's the existing pool area. It is surrounded by some grass area, and it is enclosed by a fence currently. So we're proposing to add additional pavement there, but only on a portion of it. We're going to leave grass area in the center there.
So you're not proposing any trees in that area?
No, but the applicant is amenable. I believe he actually mentioned to me that he would like to plant some trees there.
Yes,
Yeah.
one for Andy first. What is the requirement for internal landscaping with numbers? I thought it was like 1 tree per 10 spaces or something like that.
Yeah, sorry, and that's actually, it goes to that area as well. The specific provision, but so I think in general, and this, I think the applicant's been trying to be responsive over this area here, but there is in any expansive parking lot in which there's a long row of parking, we try to have shade trees for a number of reasons. And that's the reason why there's a provision in the ordinance. So, sorry, just for everybody's reference, this is the provision we're referring to. Ratio of trees in a parking area. I do think it's worth noting that there's sometimes need for flexibility as to where the trees go, or but in terms of having at least the minimum provision for trees, that's important, I think.
So it says no more than 20 parking spaces between each island or plot.
Right.
It doesn't look like this is meeting that requirement.
So we did meet that requirement for the new parking area on the top right of the screen, but we did not provide that for any of the existing areas. And regarding the trees, I did speak to the applicant, and he would like to request that the trees not be plotted within those landscaped islands. He has some concerns of root growth impacting the pavement there, which is why I mentioned, we do some sort of low shrubbery in those islands.
So this would require weight for regulations.
I believe so.
And it looks like the area to the, now is this is the proposed. So in the center part, you've got 4 rows of parking, each of which have more than 20 trees. So you need a waiver for the islands there, I think. And you need a waiver for the trees and the islands that you have. There's a bunch of waivers that you're asking.
It sounds like you might have interpreted, maybe perhaps you're interpreting this portion of the parking area as existing, but there's some reconfiguration happening here, right? So as the planning board looking at it, I think it's sort of, it might be that a portion of the plan is partially responsive to that ordinance, but the trees may not be responsive in this portion of the lot based on what's happening. So I agree with.
But I thought you were saying that even the upper left-hand corner, you don't want trees, you just shrubbery.
You know, it's, so to clarify, what you were saying is true. We considered the center portion of the lot to be existing. So we did not provide those landscaping islands in those areas. But you are correct.
Hold you right there. It looks like you're adding probably 15 or 16 or 18 parking spaces.
There's 20 in that section.
There's new parking, it's not just existing. You're adding a whole bunch of new parking spaces.
That's right, yeah.
So it's not, you can't call that existing, it's really new. So I mean, I guess I'm concerned because, well, let me just ask another question. What is your existing parking ratio? Your existing park, it looks like you meet the existing parking requirement and you're asking for a lot more parking spaces than the regulations require. Is that correct?
That's right, yeah. The applicant identified a need for additional parking as, you know, the parking lot remains full and is very tightly packed in there. So he recognized the need for additional parking here.
So, I mean, I guess these are all interlocking concerns. So there's the concern about what I would call inadequate landscaping, inadequate trees, and over parking. You can increase the number of parking spaces. You're adding 68, is that what I understood?
That's right.
That's way over what we would be looking for. And then there's a third related thing, which is the dead ending of those long parking bays. And so, you know, from my point of view, this is not really meeting the goals of the city in terms of how we would like to see parking done. We would like to have more landscaping, better circulation, and this is not good circulation. And we'd like to have more landscaping, more trees, etc. This, you know, we're thinking about not just parking, but also climate. And this is not a very climate friendly plan, I don't think.
Well, I'd argue we were to provide better circulation as in, what I think you're trying to say is, you know, adding another lane on the left-hand side so we could loop, that would either require additional pavement or removal of the additional parking spots, which would go against the intent of our application here. And further, I'd like to state that this parking lot was designed according to the parking requirements of the zoning bylaw, particularly for 2-lane traffic. So we'd expect that each of these parking aisles will be able to support 2-way traffic here. So we believe the circulation here meets the bylaw.
Turning around at the end space.
Jump in on that, just to reinforce what Mr. Painter is saying. Those dead end bays, whether they're 2 lanes or not, there's, I think, 19 or 20 parking spaces in each of those parking bays. There are no assigned spaces. So if I'm circulating around looking for a parking space and I drive down one of those dead ends and there are no parking spaces, I gotta turn around somehow. If there's a tow truck that has to go down there, if there's a service vehicle that has to go down there, they've got to turn around somehow. So it's just not, in my mind, it's not good practice to not create that loop of circulation. And, you know, I took a quick look at it, and I think there's probably a net loss of 4 or 5 parking spaces if you do the loop. It's not a big loss given the number of spaces you're adding. So I really would encourage you to take another look at that aspect of it, as well as all of the landscape.
Okay, yeah, we can definitely take a little overview with Matt.
Any other questions, comments from the board initially?
I guess the only question I had is, and this is just talking out loud about what our practices are. So the landscaping actually doesn't have to be adjacent to where the parking lot is. That might be the benefit, a benefit. But we could also ask for other screening, maybe different trees in different locations to make the whole site landscaping cohesive.
So I think, I agree with you about the trees. The trees could be on the outside rather than the inside. I don't think that's the case with the islands, landscape islands. So, I think those really have to be separated banks of 10 spaces. So, I guess coming back to us, we want to have kind of detailed list of the waivers that you're requesting so we can go through them. Because we can't vote on this application until we vote on the waivers.
Yeah, and so then to follow that, the landscape plan should have in it what trees are clearly marked as relating to the expansion of the park.
And,
Right.
and on top of that, what landscaping there's going to be in the islands if it's not.
Correct. Thank you.
Any other questions initially?
May I ask a quick question?
No, wait to public
I'll
comment.
open it up for public comment. And again, please come forward, state your name, your address, and if you can, limit your comments to about 2 minutes.
Hi, my name's Frank Clapp. I'm an abutter to this development. I'm also on the board of directors for the village of Newbury. I have a number of concerns. I'll try to make them brief. First one is if you could show that parking lot. My concern would be that is at the back end and it is right on adjacent to a drop off that goes down into where the old golf course is. And I'm concerned that some of the runoff could go there. I'll leave it at that. If you show the pictures of the property, you'll see it's in a state of disrepair. The lawns have not been maintained. I do not feel comfortable that you'll get the landscaping the way you might expect because they won't even maintain it. We have, the board, been trying to contact the property manager I've been there 7 years and it's gone on 20, according to other property managers and the board of trustees. And we cannot get anyone to even answer a call from us to talk about any issues. The next issue is that you talk about the runoff going to Woodman Way. Woodman Way is a private way. That sewer line has had issues for quite some time. It's been backed up. It has to be cleaned out constantly. I'm very concerned, especially because it will affect our neighborhood, that is going to back up and fill up more with the runoff, and we're going to have other issues. If we already have issues today, and I think they're going to get worse. I'm concerned that they're looking for additional parking when in fact they're not enforcing the property rules that they have in place today. The regulations stipulate no commercial vehicles, and if you see one of the pictures, there's a commercial truck there. There's many commercial vehicles parked over there all the time. There's more than probably the 1.5 largest spaces. Giving them more parking instead of enforcing the regulations is something that's questioned. I'm concerned about fire lanes. Those parking lanes at the end with the dead end, as you point out, the fire engine had to get down there because there was a car fire or if there was some kind of wood fire. Would they be able to get down there and operate in time to save our property? Because we've got right behind there. Another question I have is, are there going to be any fences over there? Additional fencing to keep the sound down? Because you're going to have all those extra cars parking there that we don't have right now. And the last issue is, as a community dealing with them, and as a town dealing with, a city dealing with them, we have had really a hard time lately with a rat infestation, and I would ask you to actually investigate and talk to the people on the on the health department and understand how difficult it's been to get them to mitigate the situation. I'm done. Thank you for listening.
Could I just have some? apologize for not knowing this, but you said the village at Newburyport?
The village of Newburyport is
So what it, that's, where does it?
Way and Woodman Way. We are, one of the things we're trying to figure out is Woodman Way is a private way, and the people that, it's owned by a trust, and the trust will not respond to any inquiries about how to maintain the road. And there is a concern that even with all the construction, the road might degrade, and the person hasn't been fixing the road for years. And in fact, the city, I mean, had to pay to have some, potholes filled at the end of the road near Story Ave recently because no one would take care of the road.
Please don't talk.
Before you leave, can you, just for our records, can you give us your address?
Yes, my name's Frank Clapp and my address is 41 Flipper Way. And my wife was here, Donna.
Can I ask just one question? Just a point of clarification. You mentioned commercial vehicles. Are those part of a business or those are just individual trucks that people live there and they bring their work truck home? When you say commercial vehicles.
It's bringing their work trucks home. Most condominium associations don't allow that.
Okay.
Including this one, which I'm gonna let someone else talk. Any other questions?
Is it possible to get clarification on the private way? Is that the entire length or just a section that's in the
entire
way?
In fact, our association plows the frontage on their side of the road because they won't even plow. And we're actually to the point where we're thinking we're gonna plow one half of the road and leave the other half not plowed, although we're concerned about safety of our residents, but we don't know what to do we're paying extra money to have this road plowed.
And that's all the way to 113?
We plowed to, Maritime, almost, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Almost.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Mr. Chair, may I address a couple of those comments, please?
Go ahead, yeah.
I just wanted to quickly talk about the drainage. There is no expectation that drainage is going to be impacting any downstream sites. The entirety of the proposed parking lot is going to feature a curb, and the proposed catch basins are going to capture all of that runoff. And again, the stormwater system that we proposed here, the runoff conditions are not going to increase on the site. The only reason we're proposing a drainage line back to the street is for emergency overflows, but there is no expected increase in that runoff. Regarding, other concerns of commercial vehicle parking, fire lanes, as well as Board of Health issues. I know the applicant is working with the Board of Health on some of the issues that have been raised. And I can definitely speak with my client about some of those issues there. And also regarding the fencing in the point. And that's all I wanted to respond.
Just in terms of the runoff,
The client is the Country Club Estates.
And who is that?
Who is in charge of that?
excuse me, we can't.
Is it the
we can't have-
trustees or is it? Because we're confused, who is this guy that even gave you this job?
Sir,
We're the owners of the company, we have no, I'm here to, who's in charge?
Who is in charge?
excuse me, if we could just, excuse me,
We
we can't have this kind of
We're just trying to figure out what.
unstructured
who you-
debate.
You can each have an opportunity for public comment if you would like, but not overlapping. Thank you.
We can't do
I
that.
thought it was our turn.
Okay. I have one question about
I
runoff.
think we're all
I
here.
mean, if you're in precinct,
go up now to the front.
So what is the answer, please?
can I just ask
He
one
wants us to-
question, please, and then you can come up.
The applicant has listed is Thomas Shea.
That's what we want.
As I understand, he maintains the Country Club.
So is he also the
Estates.
owner of this thing?
You're good.
Okay, that's all I needed to know, thank you.
Okay, in terms of runoff, you're expanding the paved
You
area.
don't need to get together.
significantly.
Team up.
Excuse me, excuse me. What, you cannot
Sorry.
disrupt the meeting like this. Please respect the process. If you have something to say, you can come up to the podium and say, okay, thank you very much. In terms of runoff, your signature. No additional runoff. How is that?
It's because we're capturing the added pavements. And I understand we're adding pavement in the center here as well, but we're capturing more pavement to offset that. And what we're doing is that subsurface chamber system is going to allow direct infiltration into the ground. And we provided a stormwater report that details calculations on how this complies with stormwater management
Okay.
guidance.
This has been reviewed by city engineer.
Yeah, I'm happy to speak to any of the issues that have been raised to date. To our understanding, Phil Christensen, who usually does the stormwater management reviews for projects, has reviewed this and is comfortable with the design as proposed. There are obviously a number of things that are looked at for something like this, but to our understanding, stormwater management is not a concern for the professional engineer who does that review for the board.
Okay. Would anyone else like to speak? Sure.
Thank you. My name is Dan Healy. I live at 6 Woodman Way. I'm one of the trustees of the Maritime complex there. And the villages on one side and the Maritime on the other side represent the whole neighborhood, in addition to Country Club Estates. So we're both affected 100% by everything that goes on there. I don't want to repeat the items that were listed before from the village representative, because we are participating in the same views and the same issues. So all of those are very valid. One of the things that has come up very recently is the issue of rodents. We've been told by very good sources that there has been a rodent population there growing recently. When you go by, it doesn't take any day to visit and see the rubbish piled up outside the dumpsters. Numerous violations constantly. And so I haven't seen a rat, but I understand they're there and proliferating. So things have been filed with the city, I guess, the Board of Health, and as the gentleman commented, their actions are being taken or responded to. I don't know, but it's the kind of thing that bothers me in Newburyport, really. We shouldn't be dealing with that. I can drive around this city all day long as I do, as I have done since I was 6 years old. And you wouldn't find the proliferation of trash and disrepair that you see in so-called country club estates. It's just outrageous. So I don't want to repeat all of that. You got it. The rat population issue bothers me if something has been done, particularly where construction is going to take place right around the dumpster area where this seems to have been a problem. So I'm not an engineer, but I would think that construction, groundbreaking, excavation, et cetera, right around threatened rodent populations is bad news for everybody. And in this case, everybody is represented by Maritime and the villages. We're 100% of the rest of the neighborhood. So it's a deeply disturbing matter for us. I'm shocked as a business person, as a retired business person. I'm shocked that the gentleman said that he's some vagueness about who he's representing or who the owners are, representing who he understands to be the trustees. Did I get the sense of that? Yes, I did. So that's craziness. Anyway, anything you can do to help us would be deeply appreciated. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
First of all, my name's George. I own, 3 units on Woman Way. I came here to meet everybody. The situation at Woman Way is you nailed it over here because I'm also part of the village because I live at 50 Woman Way also. So I won't even across the street, so I never came to your meeting, so. All right, so the situation that I was being going through, I also own Famous Pizza in Newburyport. In Smokehouse Pizza in Newburyport. Who's a pizza guy in Newburyport? I ain't anything to do.
How you doing?
We do a lot of work together. So, the situation, this is what I'm getting. I was gonna get involved a couple of years ago, I got married and stuff, so I didn't get involved. I'm officially involved. I'm
With kids.
here with kids. I got married, 3 kids, back to back to back. So I couldn't really get involved 4 or 5 years ago. To kick this guy out, sorry, you're a client. So none of us here has no idea what's going on. Completely, none of us. So I'm here. Before I get a lawyer involved, to kick this Rob guy out of here, or Tom, whatever his name is, okay? Because somehow, not only he's the counselor, he's also the owner of Bay State Management Company. So he owns 19 units. And somehow with the rules and regulations of some sort of deeds, like the private ways we were talking about earlier and all that, can you even reach him? No. I called him too yesterday to figure out, did anybody receive keys to the building or anything? Because I haven't. So I have multiple situations with what's going on in the condo association. Nothing to do, so right now, I got a letter for this, I'm like, did anybody get a letter about this parking lot, anybody from Tom? Nobody. Nobody, none of us owners, shareholders, I own 3 shares, other people own shares, 2 shares, 1 shares. Mr. Giuseppe that used to own Mr. Giuseppe's restaurant also owns 9 shares, if I'm correct, which I also reached out to him today to come to this meeting today. So we could all discuss the huge issues here. He didn't reach out back, whatever. So this situation, what's going on here is between, there's some history going on here because I already did the math because nobody even knows how much is in the fund. How is he even gonna fund it? Because nobody even knows how much money is in the fund association in the first place.
Have you ever had
Do you even know?
have you ever had a financial review?
We have 0 financial reports going on. We have only what we're gonna spend, 8, and we only have to know is how much money it's gonna cost us for 2025. In January, they'll mail us this little piece of paper and that's about it. Nothing to know, like, hey, we use a pool, but he puts $20,000 a year on it. We haven't used this pool, what, 6, 7 years? 8? That's 140,000 right there missing. Right off the bat.
The speakers cut out.
Not hearing anything.
Yeah, me either. Is there a way to chat?
Do you have Andy's cell or Bob's cell? Send him a message.
I don't. Let me see. I just messed it up here.
I don't think I have anybody's number.
Let me see. Maybe Matt.
Yeah, give him a buzz. Tell him we're in the dark here.
Yeah, I don't have any. I don't have anybody's. Actually,
Okay,
wonder if they can hear us.
no clue.
I might bow out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's not operative here. All right.
All right. Well, good night.
Okay. Take care.
All right. Take care, Jay. Jack.